Hi all, this is the PIMAX Crystal Super and this is the top head strap. So I just wanted to do a quick video explaining how you fit this to your PIMAX Crystal. So there is a difference between the Light. So there's lots of videos out there showing you how to attach this on the PIMAX Crystal Light, but not on the Super. So that's why I thought I would just do one. So I've managed to work it out myself where it actually clips in. So what I'll do is I'll do a close-up, we'll jump in and I'll show you how to get this fitted. Okay, so why would you want to use this top strap? Well, this just really helps. So it sits on like so, and it sits more forward, and it just helps to take the weight of the actual goggles itself. Yes, you do have this head strap here, which you can adjust, but it is very flexible. This is more solid, and it allows you, using this wheel here, to really get this homed in, and it really just makes the whole PIMAX Crystal Super feel more comfortable on your head. Okay, so how do you go about fitting this? So it is slightly different to the Crystal Light, and there just seems to be lots of instructions out there for the Light but not for the Super. So the way I've done it is, first of all, just remove this guard here. So I've turned the goggles over, just push in slightly and then just take that out. It just makes it a little bit more easier to work with and gives you that little bit more room. The next thing is to remove this pad here. So that's just a Velcro pad and it just pulls off like so. Now with the Light, I believe that you have to unscrew the actual earphones, but not with the Super. So this just goes straight on and screws straight on. So you do get a bag here with the screws. So there's about 6 screws in here. They really are small. So let me just take those out and show you. So as you can see, they're really, really small screws, but that is what's going to hold your strap on to your goggles. Okay, so let me show you how you do this. Okay, so to attach your top strap, I would just undo it fully, just to give you a little bit more room, like so. And then there is a left and a right. So it does say R on here, a small R and a small L on this one, but you can see the difference there. So one is slightly curved and that just allows it to go around this cable lead here. So that's why that one's shaped like that one. And then that one will just sit flush like so on that side. But essentially the principle is the same. So you have 3 holes here for the screws to go in. You have 1 here, 2, and then 1 at the bottom here, 3. So what you're going to do is this hole here in the middle is going to go into this, going to screw into this position here, and then these 2 center ones here will screw into this one here, these 2 here. You can also adjust the holes. So if you wanted this head strap to be facing more forward, you would then use the 2 end holes here as well. So you don't have to use those 2 central holes. You can adjust it to your preference. I just find that this middle point here, with the hole in the middle at the bottom, with the screw in the middle at the bottom and the 2 screws here, give a nice feel on the headset. But naturally, have a play with it. If you want it a little bit more forward, then go for this hole here and this one. If you want it facing a little bit more towards the back, then you can just switch the screws around there. So it is quite fiddly. So the way I found to do it is to essentially just take one of the screws and put it into the actual hole there, like so. Then take the provided screwdriver, just push that in just to hold it in place, and then just line up that hole with that groove there, or that slot there, and then you just pop the screw in and just screw that first one up. Like so. So that first one is in place. So I'm going to do it up reasonably tight. I'm not going to do it all the way. So just to allow me a little bit of movement this way. So the next thing I want to do is these 2 here in the 2. So I'm going to do this one first into this hole here. So again, I'm going to take my screw, I'm going to put it into the strap, holding it with the screwdriver, and then just pull out and just line that up at the back, which is there. Just screw that one in. So that's our second one in. And then the third one, again, it just sits right next to that screw. I'm going to pop that in there. So this one's going to be a little bit harder. because we can't insert it into the strap before it's screwed in. So I'm just going to try a slightly different method. Okay, so you can see there I've got it with my nail just holding it on the end of the screwdriver there, popping that in, and because I know that's lined up because the other two are in, just going to screw that up. Okay, then just go around and just tighten those screws up like so, and then all you need to do then is just simply replace the pad. So the pad just goes back on around like so. And that is essentially it. That's your top strap now fitted, and all you need to do now is the other side exactly the same. Okay, so I'm just going to do the other side and just show you because it is slightly different. So you can see you have a curve here just so that that sits nicely flush inside. So again, I'm going to put the screw into the middle hole, the bottom one. Okay, like so. Put the screwdriver on just to hold it into position, and then go into that first hole there, that first screw hole. Again, I'm not going to do that fully. I'm going to take my next one. Put it into the strap. Put my screwdriver on. Turn that so that you can see what I'm doing there. Again, line that second hole up. Tighten that up. And you can see why that one is slightly shaped, because the cable is running here and it needs to bend around that cable. Okay, and then our last screw. So again, the same method. I'm just going to put it on the screwdriver, hold it with my nail like so, and then put it into that slot next to it, that hole next to it. And as before, just go around and tighten them all up. Our bottom one as well. Okay, and that is it. So all we need to do now is just pop the pad back on. So just tuck that behind the wire. Just secure that back on. And that is essentially it. That's our top strap now fitted. And you can see there that when that's on your head, this front piece, this is going to take the weight off this, the front piece of the actual goggles itself. Okay, so I hope you found that useful. You can see there that I now have the top strap on there, and it just makes a huge difference when you fit this. I'll show you that now, because you can essentially just not only adjust the back now to get that nice and tight, but you can then just go in and get this adjusted, and it just feels that it's taking the weight. It feels more of a solid headset. It seems to just sit more nicely with that top strap on, in my opinion. Okay, so I hope you found this useful. This is how you fit the top strap to a PIMAX Crystal Super VR headset.